Alright, this is the quiz tutorial for our in-class quiz today, 10/12/2015. Here we have our crosswind component chart that was on the quiz. And our first question. If departing runway 36, what is the crosswind component of winds from 270 at 20 knots? So we start by subtracting our crosswind wind direction 270 degrees from our runway heading, which in this case is 360, yielding a 90-degree difference. So in this case it's pretty easy. All winds are crosswind. So you see the arrow there extending from the on the 90-degree side all the way into 20 knots. So our entire wind of 20 knots is all crosswind component because the winds are 90 degrees off of the runway heading. Alright, on to question 2. So for question 2, your aircraft has a max crosswind limitation of 17 knots. We're asking if we are okay to depart with winds from 45 degrees off the runway at 20 knots. So we can do this one of two ways. We can either find the crosswind component of the current winds or find the max crosswind we are allowed with a 45-degree wind angle. It's probably easier to find the actual crosswind component of the current winds and then compare that to our limit. So that's what we'll do. So we find the crosswind component of the current wind. We come into the chart at the 45-degree line. And then we intercept the 20-knot radial line. And then we drop straight down from there to the current crosswind component. And the crosswind component comes out to about 14 knots, which is under our limitation. So in this case, we are good to go and okay to depart. Alright, third question. For our aircraft with the 17-knot crosswind limitation, what is the maximum wind velocity for a wind that is 30 degrees off runway heading? Well, we have to come into the chart at the 30-degree line. And then we need to draw straight up from our crosswind limitation of 17 knots to intercept our 30-degree line. Then we draw a curved line from there, matching or paralleling the radial lines for the 30 and 40 knot wind speed in this case, until we intercept the crosswind component speed down at the bottom of the chart. And from there we pull out approximately 34 knots. So our max wind at 30 degrees off runway heading is about 34 knots. Alright, I hope this quiz review helps. Let me know again if there's any questions. Email is always the best way to contact me.